hopefully fix it. If I fix it, you'll be seeing this video. Alright, good afternoon, YouTubers. As you can tell, I am not out in the woods. I ain't fishing. It's nasty weather outside, so I'm staying in this weekend, trying to get rid of this crud I've been going through this last week, coughing and junk. So I'm going to stay in the house. It's going to be Henry Shy inside today. I got a Zebco 733 Platinum. Try to get y'all good in frame here. And that is a nice reel, but the drag, I took it camping with me a couple of weekends ago, and I thought it was in good shape because the drag does go back and forth, but as you can tell, it does not work at all. So hopefully I'm going to take this thing apart, clean it up real good, figure out what's wrong with that drag, and if I do, you'll be seeing this video. So I'm gonna get started on this. It's got a bearing system in it. It's got bearings instead of bushings, I guess. So we're gonna try it out and see what happens. So y'all stick with me, see if we can make this thing work. Alright, let's see if we can get started on this thing. I had took it camping last weekend, or a couple weekends ago now, and I didn't realize the drag wasn't working. I just kind of cleaned it up, greased it up a little bit, seemed to be in good shape. When I got out there, of course, I figured out the drag was not working. I didn't really use it, didn't need it anyway, so I'm just going to get started on it and see what's going on here. Take the front and back off. It's clean inside. I cleaned it up a little bit. Looks pretty good. But I'm going to clean it up some more, grease it up, see what I can do with this drag in here. Try to keep everything in frame for y'all. The inside of this, I greased it up too and cleaned it. Cleaned up around on this thing. I'm going to try to get on in here and see what's going on with it. I don't have a tab on it like most of them do. This thing popped on here just right. Can't really keep y'all in frame here. They should be a little washer on here. I gotta keep this stuff in order so I can put it back up in order. That's just a little plastic ring there. And pull this deal off. That drag looks good just sitting there. It's all the way to the loose part. It is moving it when I do that. So what is the deal with the drag? There's a piece of wire hanging out of there. Probably re-spool this thing. I might take all this wire off of here. But you got this little washer in here. There's two of them. Looks like they're stuck together. That might be a problem. Got that little key washer there. And that's, I guess, your spring washer, what they call it, or that's in this part, I believe. But okay, that's on the top part of it, or the bottom part. This all looks real good so far. Alright, see what this here has got in store for us. That'd be your spring washer, I believe. That's going over here. So far, I have not seen anything why it would not work. All this looks good. Everything putting the parts in. Take this out. Alright, so far looks pretty good. I'm going to take all this right here and clean it up real good. And all I know to do is stick it back in there and see if it'll work now. Just take it apart, clean it, re-grease it. Because I don't see anything. All these gears look real good down in here. I cannot tell what might be causing the problem. But alright, let me clean these up and I'll get back to you. Alright, let's see what we got now. I tried to set this camera up a little higher so maybe I can keep y'all in frame a little better. And I'm looking at you backwards. So. But anyway, got it all cleaned out real good. I got me some of this H2O Express premium real grease here, so I'm gonna grease this stuff up as I put it back in here. And let's see, I'll stick a little on this bottom right here first. Take the cap off will help. Stick a little bit in here. I'm not going to put a whole lot. I got me a little brush it around with. Try to grease this shank up here pretty good too. As I go. And we had this alright, I want to make sure I'm putting all this in here the right way. I have not tore into this thing before. Stick that wheel back in there. get my gear back down in there. There. Alright. Get it all the way back down in there. Now, I'll grease this up a little bit more. I've been messing around with it. Alright. Stick my gear back in there. Everything looks good on this stuff, so pull it around this way. Get it all the way backed up to where it's on loose. Stick me a little more grease on here. I reckon I'm gonna have to go to that white lithium. I'm running out of grease in this thing. Whoa. Grease this up real good while trying to keep y'all in frame still. Keep this end piece greased up good. Alright, stick my washer back on there. There's more grease. Not going crazy with it, but put enough. Alright. Alright. Gotta go back and look and make sure I'm putting this back together right. Alright, we got our little red washer went on the bottom part right here. We put a little grease on this. That's the bottom part of your spool. It hits your drag. Grease this up good. Alright. The red one went on the bottom. Get your little more grease. Get all that in there good. Got your key part that went down. Got your little lever side up, I guess. Make sure that key gets in the slot there. A little more grease in there. Get all this greased up real good. Get all that sprocket there. Sure all them gears and everything got good grease on them. Alright. Got that all greased up, got that part in there. It's all set on the loose. Alright, we're gonna, yep, stick this back in here. Stick these top ones back on. I'm hoping just cleaning them up and unsticking them two that were stuck together, maybe that was a problem. And grease it all up, clean it up. There was some grit and junk in here, so got all that out. Hopefully all of this. Put my little plastic piece back in there. A little more. Get plenty of grease in here, maybe it'll get working good. All over everything. Alright, stick my key part back on here. Goes. Wish I could see. I got a cataract on my eye, man. This gives me problems. There it is right there. Alright. Now, I am a hoping and a praying this is going to solve my problem. Stick my little carder back in there. Gotta have that on the key too. It's got your little key on there. Make sure that lines up with your hole right there too. Alright, I got that back on there, and I had done greased this up a little bit. I'm going to put a little bit of oil on these little pivot points on here. All this looks good too. I done got some grease on it. I'm just going to put a little drop of oil on some of them. It's real smooth, greased up. Alright, stick this back on here. It's coming out. I believe and hope and pray that got it. I'm going to take this part out, clean it up some more, put a little oil on these ball bearings. Well, I may not do all that. I done cleaned all this part. I'll stick some more grease down in here a little bit. Stick a little oil on my ball bearings down there. I got, as far as I can tell, I got 4 ball bearings in this thing that I know of, and everything is tight on this thing. There ain't no play in nothing. I don't think this thing got used very much when it was in use. Stick a little bit of, a couple drops in these bearings. Stick down in here. But yep, get all my string up in there. I think that's what I'm gonna do to that right there. There's no play in it, not loose. Tighten up my thing a little bit. Alright, I'm gonna stick my back on here. Put one of the wire off. Stick my bell back on here. Alright folks, you hear that drag giving now. Oh yeah, stiffened up. Pull him back out. I do believe that's what she needed. A grease job unsticking them parts in there. I think that's got her. Toughened up. Alright. Well, I'm gonna call that a success. I think I'm gonna try to go out to Old Mussy Creek. Try to get me another video out there catching them big old catfish off of there with this here thing. I believe it'll work just fine. Put me about some 15-20 pound line on here. Go down there and catch some of them big channel cat, blue cat, down there on the Alabama side in Columbia, Alabama. Anybody that knows my channel knows that creek. I'll put a link to it here somewhere on this screen. I'm backwards and upside down right here, so anyway, y'all check out the rest of my channel. Like and subscribe if this helps you any, and just y'all get outside and go do something. I'm gonna put this back on my reel and try her out. I appreciate y'all, and y'all have a good day. Alright, I had just come back on here. I wasn't hearing the drag given when I pulled it out. It's working, but I took the back off of it, and this little piece, I don't know if you can see it, had broke off. It's the one that it rubs up against that drag gear and lets you hear that sound it makes when you pull the string out. And I do want to find me another one of them and put it back in there, because you want to hear that drag working when it's working, so you know how to tighten it up and loosen it up as you're fighting that fish. I mean, it's working fine, but you know how you like to hear that drag. So I'm going to try to find me another one of these little deals here. All it does is stick on a little deal down in there and sticks up through there, and it rubs against that drag thing so you can hear it. So right now that's the only thing wrong with it. Maybe I can find me another one, but alright, other than that, it's working fine. Alright, thanks a lot, y'all.